Hi guys, it's been 12 weeks now since lockdown began. I've been inundated with questions over the 12 weeks with people experiencing new problems due to lockdown. Some people experiencing issues because they bought a new puppy or something like that. So I've been doing my best to use Zoom and run webinars and one-to-one meetings like that. Now today, a friend of mine shared a post on Facebook, and it said, the message was about letting dogs be dogs, letting them sniff on the walk. And it inspired me to just make a video and get it out there. And if I can start putting out some more and more information, and if it helps to educate one person, then as far as I'm concerned, that can only be a good thing. So, should we be letting our dogs sniff out on the walk? The truth of the matter is this: dogs are born both blind and deaf, but they're born with their nose open. So they don't start seeing for the first, I can say, 10 days, and start hearing around 18 days. But they're born into this world being able to smell. Now, when they explore the environment, they predominantly use their nose. So, if we are going to go out and prevent them from utilising their nose and expect them to stay glued to the side of us, and unfortunately there are still trainers out there that are going to make you buy a big, thick choke chain with a massive leather lead and put it on and yank them into submission and make them walk alongside you the whole way. Well, where is the fun in that for them, and where is the fun in that for you? Now, does that mean that I believe that we should just be allowing our dogs to do whatever they want? No, it doesn't. It's about combining the two. It's about realising that our role as the parent in the relationship is to educate them. Now, we tend to use our eyes more than any other sense. So when you're taking a child out, imagine if every single time you left that front door, you put a blindfold on your child. Now, it would build trust between you because they'd have to hold your hand and they'd have to just trust that wherever you go, they follow. But how are they exploring the environment? How are they learning to cope with different distractions and different stimulus on the walk? They're not learning anything. And it's the same thing with dogs. So our role is always to educate, not force them to do what we expect them to do the whole time. Now, we've got to teach them where there are red zones, where there are danger areas. We've got to teach them to ignore distractions, because if we do just let them do their own thing and spend the whole time, following their nose, crisscrossing on the lead, then don't be surprised if they do get excited when a bike goes past and then they try to jump into the road. Or don't be surprised if they are stopping at every single lamppost and then yanking you off your feet to get to the lamppost, and then can't ignore the distraction of seeing a sheep or a horse or another dog. So the aim is to teach them when they need to heel up into the right position and to ignore distractions. Now, sometimes I will use a luring technique. Sometimes I'll see a dog coming towards my dogs that unfortunately doesn't look very sociable. So I might tell my dogs to sit down and look at me, and I've taught them to hold eye contact for a minute. In that minute, the dog will pass. I might get a ball out, I might get a tug toy out. So I'm making myself more interesting than the environment. And then when that distraction passes, they get to have a game of tug, or they get to have the ball, and then we'll walk on and then we'll carry on. Now, at other times, I won't go down the luring technique. I am a big fan of using marker training. And the thing about the marker training is that if you spend the whole time luring, look at me, look at me, look at me, they just get bored of the treats and they get bored of being dictated to. So I take the treats with me, but with a marker, I'm able to mark when I see the slightest of changes. Now, if I'm dealing with an aggression case, they may go from trying to lunge at a dog, I get out of the reactive zone, and then when they eventually break eye contact, I'll click something as small as that for looking away, and by clicking, they get the treat. With enough repetition, I can guarantee every single case I've ever worked with, by the end of, if say a dog comes and does residential training for a month, by the end of the month, when they see a dog, they'll turn around, sit down and look at me, predicting that they're going to have the mark to have the treat. So it's always in the back of my mind, what is the lesson here? What am I trying to teach the dog? So when I'm walking, I let them go out in front. You know, at times I will put an imaginary boundary line. When I say heel up, my dogs know, right, no, I need you here because there's a distraction that I need you to ignore. But then when I'm walking, I let them have a little freedom roaming outside. They're out in front of me, they're sniffing, they're exploring. I do a lot of mine will be off lead anyway. So I'll heel to certain areas, then I'll let them off the lead. And then when I'm walking, there's a whole new training concept comes in there as well, where when we're walking, they can go off and enjoy and explore, but they've always got to keep us in their eye line and things like that. So that takes us on to a whole different video. But the message that I want to get across is that if you are just taking them out and preventing them from using their nose and constantly correcting, all you're doing is preventing them from exploring the world the way that they are naturally born to do. On the opposite side, if you're going to go out and you're going to let them just do their own thing the whole time, don't be surprised when you're being pulled off your feet. Combine the two, teach them when it's time to heel, give them plenty of freedom. Ideally, you can get your dog off the lead. If not, you can use massive leads. An uncle of mine had a Pyrenean Mountain Dog. They weren't designed to be as obedient as, say, a Doberman, a German Shepherd, a Border Collie. So for the whole of the Pyrenean Mountain Dog's life, he'd have a 40-metre lead on when it came to being in a big field. So he still had plenty of opportunity to explore and still enjoyed his walk, but wasn't a danger to himself or anybody else because he was likely to just follow his own nose and do his own thing. If we can let them off the lead, fantastic. But the main message take from this, teach them what they're supposed to do and when they're supposed to heel up, and don't stop a dog from being a dog. Let them use their nose.